Why, in the heart of Belle Époque Paris, specifically within the opulent confines of the fictional Quartier des Fleurs, did the women of high society harbor such astonishing, even scandalous, secrets? And how did many of them not only escape ruin, but sometimes even thrive in a world designed to constrain them? Did you know the glittering facade of Parisian high society hid a complex web of hidden lives? A paradox where the most outwardly conforming individuals were often the most daring behind closed doors. We are about to analyze deeper into this fascinating historical enigma, exploring the stark contrast between the expected roles of women in this era and the surprising realities some of them carved out for themselves. The Belle Époque, roughly spanning from the late 19th century to the start of World War I, was a period synonymous with prosperity, artistic flourishing, and a distinct social hierarchy in France, particularly in Paris. It is in this environment, this gilded cage, that we discover the nature of the shocking secrets these women held. What were these secrets? They were not merely trivial indiscretions or romantic dalliances, though those certainly existed. We are talking about involvement, often indirect but sometimes quite active, in activities that were either illegal, deeply taboo, or fundamentally challenged the established order and their own prescribed roles. Imagine a woman ostensibly dedicating her afternoons to charity work or receiving callers in her salon, who was secretly managing investments in underground gambling operations, using her social network to facilitate forbidden art sales, perhaps pieces deemed too scandalous or acquired through questionable means. The police and authorities were often reluctant to investigate the affairs of powerful families, or could be easily bribed or influenced. The physical layout of Parisian mansions, with their multiple entrances, hidden staircases, and private rooms, facilitated discreet meetings and activities. The reliance on male intermediaries was a double-edged sword. It maintained the facade of female innocence, but also meant the women had to carefully select and control their male partners in crime, a delicate balance of power and risk. Salons, ostensibly places of intellectual and social exchange, could easily become hubs for networking, information gathering, and discreet transactions under the guise of polite conversation. Charity work, a socially acceptable activity for wealthy women. This selective morality meant that the consequences often depended more on a woman's status, her family's power, and the skill with which she managed her secret life and its potential exposure, rather than the inherent crime itself. We can look at hypothetical examples. Consider Madame Dubois, whose husband was a spendthrift. To save her family from ruin and maintain her children's inheritance, she secretly took over the management of a hidden family asset, perhaps a share in a lucrative but illicit venture her husband had forgotten about. She couldn't manage it openly, so she used her trusted coachman and a network of seemingly innocent suppliers to run the operation, disguising the income as profits from a successful but fictional investment portfolio. Or Mademoiselle Dupont, a seemingly pious spinster who used her charitable visits to the city's poorer districts to run a sophisticated information network, gathering intel. These women, whether driven by necessity, ambition, or a thirst for excitement, found ways to manipulate the system, often turning their supposed weaknesses into strengths. Their ability to maintain a facade, to leverage social connections, and to operate through intermediaries were skills honed within the domestic and social spheres to which they were confined, now weaponized for survival or success in a different kind of game. The irony is palpable. The very structures meant to control them provided the camouflage. The drawing rooms and salons became command centers. The charitable visits cover for clandestine meetings. The feminine intuition, a tool for assessing risk and trustworthiness. It makes you look at the elegant portraits and historical accounts of Belle Époque high society with a completely different perspective. Wondering what hidden battles were being fought behind those serene smiles and beneath those elaborate gowns.